President Obama's back to school speech on Tuesday was supposed to be sort of this inspiring message for kids about staying in school and working hard. He's getting criticized because these people say it's an attempt for the administration to spread its agenda and influence young minds. Some parents agree. They say it's not appropriate for the president to speak to their children with neither their consent nor their presence. In fact, some school districts in 6 states say they will not air the president's message scheduled for Tuesday at noon. Tad Miller is the father of 2 children in a Texas public elementary school. He's opposed to this president or any president speaking to the students in this fashion. And Kathy Miller is also a parent of 2, president of the Texas Freedom Network, and the group monitors public education in Texas. She thinks it's a good idea for Obama to talk to students about the importance of staying in school. All right, Ted, let me talk to you first. What's your big problem with having a speech by the president to say, stay in school, work hard?
Well, I think that message is an excellent message, but at the same time, I think that there shouldn't be any access where our students are in a captive audience, and the president should not be able to just set aside an hour of time and step in and have an undivided attention of our students. We're not there to separate political beliefs from what the great message of stay in school and get good grades is. We're not there to separate the teachers who may have a different interpretation of what the president says, or any of the follow-up materials that were presented to the school districts, and now there's some misunderstandings, I guess, on what those materials are supposed to include.
Tad, let me ask you, every time, I can't tell you how many schools I've spoken to, high schools, elementary schools, colleges. Let me ask, do you approve every guest speaker that goes into your child's school?
Let me tell you what, I've got a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old, so I'm rather new at the school district. But yes, I will be doing my best to find out what people are having unfettered access to my children. 10 years ago, I didn't care about this issue. Life changes. I care about it now, and I'm here to protect my children from whatever message it might be, whether it's a liberal, conservative, independent, Democrat, Republican. I do not care. I am here to protect my children.
Kathy, what's your take?
Well, I certainly do support every parent's right to decide what their kids will hear or who they'll hear from. I'm really sad and frankly surprised that the President of the United States talking to our kids about the importance of staying in school and getting a good education has caused such an uproar or a big political flap. It's disappointing. I think it points out how politically divided we all are. And that's my real concern here. I think our kids should have an opportunity to hear from our president, who was elected by the people, and to discuss what he has to say.
Yeah, okay, so here's a letter that was sent to my producer from her son's public school. This is in New Canaan, Connecticut. Dear parents, several families have inquired about the president's education address to students planned for Tuesday, September 8th. South, East, and West will not broadcast the address live. Administrators and teachers will preview the speech and then decide what content, if any, is appropriate for our students. The decision as to what is appropriate will be based on grade levels and readiness of the students. It looks like in this case, in this school, and again, you're in Texas, this is Connecticut, but it looks like you have school administrators deciding what's appropriate. That's the case, Tad, every day. Every day, the teacher in your children's classroom decides what's appropriate for them. What's the difference between that and the president deciding what's appropriate for kids to hear?
Well, you're exactly right, and Kathy has great points. The message is probably an excellent message. The problem is, we're stepping into this for the first time. President is going to have unfettered access. What is the next message going to be? Do I need to be aware 6 months from now when President Obama, or Kathy, in 5 years, if there's a Republican president and he's coming at the students with a conservative point of view? I think you're going to be sitting here in my chair expressing your views with my opinion. Well, so it's, I leave it to my educators, and I will support them 100%, and they have been fantastic. The superintendent has given me great feedback. I think there's incredible confusion across the country on where this thing is supposed to go, and that's why you're seeing such an uproar.
Tad, I actually think there's a lot of confusion because people aren't aware that this is not unprecedented. Presidents have addressed students in a number of ways. President Bush was reading to school children when our country was attacked on 9/11 almost 8 years ago. His father addressed address students and talking about not doing drugs and staying in school. So this isn't unprecedented. And,
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. Can I reply?
Go ahead.
Sure.
I find it incredibly interesting that you bring this up. President Bush was reading a book to 30 students. President Obama was in a school about 2 weeks ago doing the same thing. President George Bush was reading a don't do drugs, please message. Now, I didn't have kids back then. I don't care what the message is. It doesn't go unfettered into the schools. Presidents can do their little book readings.
I think that there are a lot of parents who feel they absolutely feel the same way, that they don't want just anybody having access to their kids and their at that point, kids might be very moldable and malleable. Tad, Kathy, thank you both. I appreciate that.